Good morning, everyone. Just going to give everybody a minute or two to join, and then we'll get started. Okay, we are at 11 o'clock. Welcome, everyone, to our quarterly Microsoft Updates webinar series. Thanks for joining us on a Friday the 13th. Great day to have a Microsoft webinar, but I'm going to be hosting the beginning of this. My name is Dan Hewson. I am a Microsoft Adoption Specialist here at Opkalla. I'm also going to be joined by Rachel Berry, who is our Senior Microsoft Solutions Specialist. So let's get things started. So first, for anyone who is not familiar with Opkalla on the call, our core values are trust, transparency, and speed, and that flows right through our Microsoft CSP practice. What we try to do here is have a proactive approach with our CSP customers. We talk to so many customers on a daily basis that are working with partners where they sign renewals and then they don't speak with them for a year until that renewal is due. So what we do here is a proactive approach where we stay in front of our customers, like in a webinar like today, keeping you guys updated on what's changing on Microsoft, how it's going to affect the products that you're using today, and how it might affect you financially on your next renewal. So if you want to learn more about our CSP practice, this is not our focus today, but we will have information for you to reach out to us. You can schedule a call with Rachel or myself, and we can go into more details about our practice. Also wanted to let everyone know, if you do have questions, feel free to submit them in the chat. We are going to manage that throughout the presentation and leave some time at the end to address those questions. If we do run out of time, we can reach out after the fact to answer those questions and set up separate meetings for you. On to our Microsoft designations. Not going to spend much time here, but just to let you know who Opkalla is from a Microsoft standpoint, we have our designations in modern work, security, Azure, infrastructure, data, and AI. So you're in good hands working with Opkalla. Also wanted to cover quickly our certifications. I'm not going to go into each of them, but really what I wanted to express is that when you're working with Opkalla as your first line of defense from a support perspective, you're working with a great team, a fantastic network of engineers we have here, and just wanted to preview all the certifications and designations we have as of today. So moving on. Our agenda today. So Microsoft licensing and product updates we are going to start with. So that's everything that has happened already in 2026 and what we see coming for the rest of the year. On to our Premium Plus support offering. This is a new standalone support contract that Opkalla is offering customers. I'll go into more detail on that. And then on to our 90-minute tailored Copilot workshop. So many customers we're speaking with are just getting started on that Copilot journey. So we offer a 90-minute workshop to help you understand use cases, and Rachel will take us through that. Next, on to our MPAS review. This is a free service that all of our customers get who purchase CSP licensing through Opkalla. It is the Microsoft Product Adoption Support Services. We'll go through the details and how that can help you identify usage and security gaps within your environment. And then on to our license advisory and analysis offer. So our goal here is to make sure you guys have the exact licensing that's going to meet your both financial and technology needs. So we offer an advisory service to help you get to that point. So starting with the Microsoft licensing and product updates. The first and probably most important one we are going to cover is the Microsoft pricing increase coming in July of this year. I'm also going to give you an update on the functionality updates that you'll get with those changes. Also, end of sale for SQL Server 2022. Retirement of standalone SharePoint Online and OneDrive plans. Microsoft 365 Copilot Business SKU availability. Transition from AI Builder credits to Copilot credits. So let's start with the price increases. So the price increases pretty much across the board. Microsoft is increasing pricing for every productivity suite that they offer, starting with the F suites, the frontline SKUs for those users using shared devices, on up to E5, which is the highest suite that Microsoft offers. So the increase is really based on a percentage, depending on what suite it is, ranging from 5% to 35%. So everyone who is buying a productivity suite from Microsoft is going to see this price increase on July 1st, which is the start of their fiscal year. Now, number two for the bad news. Sorry, I should have mentioned these are the bad ones, so I'll cover them first. Number two, for any EA customers, so enterprise agreement customers out there, this is going to be even worse because as of November of last year, Microsoft actually dropped the waterfall discounts for enterprise agreement customers. So if you were 500 users at a minimum to qualify for an enterprise agreement on up to 15,000, which takes you through their level A, B, C, and D, you used to get a discount based on that user count. So if you were level B, you would get a discount, C, a deeper discount, D, a deeper discount. So they have actually removed those programmatic discounts, and all online subscriptions on an enterprise agreement are starting at level A pricing. So on top of these price increases happening on July 1st, 2026, enterprise agreement customers are also facing these price increases due to the waterfall discounts going away. So even more reason to move to a CSP. If you're on an enterprise agreement today, I recommend to reach out to us. We can do a financial analysis of what that would look like moving over to a CSP. Last, which I mentioned already, changes go into effect on July 1st, 2026. Kind of good news and bad news. Good news for customers who are going through renewals before July 1st. This price change will not go into effect for you until the following year. But anyone with renewals happening after July 1st, this is going to hit you on this renewal, and we can take you through what that price increase would look like. On to the good news. There is good news. Microsoft just didn't raise the prices. They did add some functionality to the suites to justify these price increases. So first and foremost, for the business size users, those are the users about 300 seats or less, they are adding 50 gigs of mailbox storage to each of these programs. So we've run into a lot of situations where business users are having mailboxes over 50 gigs and they have to buy an Exchange Online plan to actually accommodate the size of the mailboxes. So the good thing now, out of the box on the business plans, you will get 50 gigs of additional mailbox storage. The next biggest thing is actually some security functionality being added to OE3 and ME3. So Defender for Office 365 P1 is going to be added to those two suites. This has been actually a request from customers for a long time to add some security functionality to these suites. So as of July 1st, if you are in one of these suites, you will gain the functionality of Defender for O365 P1. Number four, so they are adding a good amount of Intune features to M365 E3 and E5. Basically, you will receive Intune Plan 2 and then also some of the functionality that comes with Intune Suite. So really building up the actual Intune functionality within those suites. And I have on a couple slides ahead exactly what they're going to be adding. Last but not least, security for Copilot is now going to be included in M365 E5. So if you are an E5 user, you are now able to use Copilot for security. We have worked with many customers who are trying to go down this path. It's still a relatively new release, but if you are one of them and want to go down the path with us, we'd be glad to set up a call and introduce the functionality of security for Copilot and best practices on how to deploy in your environment. So here is the price breakdown, and this is just list pricing what Microsoft has released. So you can see starting with Business Basic on down to Microsoft 365 F3. This is list price. Obviously, if you're working with Opkalla, we would discount off that list price, but we will not see actual pricing until we get that price list as of July 1st. But this is what has been marketed from Microsoft on what these price increases are going to look like. So on to the functionality increases, and this is a little tough to read, but a lot of information that I'm not going to go through at all. But if you see down and to the right, that is actually all the Intune functionality that's going to be added. One key one is Intune Remote Help. That is often asked for customers, so that being added to E3 and E5. You also will gain Intune Plan 2 on E3, E5. So really, if you're on that, you're going to be getting all of the functionality pretty much of Intune Suite. Again, you can see the increase in the 50 gigs of mailbox size and also the addition of Defender for Office 365 P1 added to Office E3 and M365 E3. So a lot of info there. I'm not going to go too deep into it, but those are the functionality changes with the price increase. So end of sale for SQL Server 2022. So I know a lot of customers still have on-prem SQL licensing. So this would be important if you do have any existing licensing with software assurance or without software assurance. This end of life is actually the end of sale would be already January 21st, 2026. So basically what that means to anyone who is on SQL 2022, mainstream support is going to end not on January 11th, 2028, so you've got some time. The extended support will actually run to January 11th, 2033. So SQL 2025 has been released already, so if you're looking to upgrade any SQL environment, feel free to reach out. I'd be glad to jump on a phone call with you, review the licensing differences and the options on how to buy SQL 2025. So just let us know. So I will pass it over to Rachel now to address the changes with SharePoint Online and OneDrive plans.
All right, thank you, Dan, and good morning, everyone. Thank you all so much for joining us today. All right, so I will kick us off to discuss some of the other changes as it pertains to some additional products within the Microsoft ecosystem. Two of those being the SharePoint Online and OneDrive Plan 1 and Plan 2 SKUs. Now, in late January of this year, Microsoft had announced that they're retiring those standalone plans. So for any organizations that have the standalone SharePoint Online Plan 1 and Plan 2, or if you may have the OneDrive for Business Plan 1 and Plan 2 SKUs, those will actually be retiring. All right, now keep in mind for any existing customers that may have these plans, what the next step for you would be is to transition to the Microsoft 365 Business or Enterprise Suite. So depending on which of these plans that you have, for example, if you have OneDrive for Business Plan 1, that provides each user with a 1 terabyte of OneDrive storage. So the replacement plan would be one of the M365 business plans, so Business Basic, Business Standard, or Business Premium. But of course, from a cost standpoint, we of course would recommend Business Basic because it includes the 1 terabyte per user, and of course, just some additional web and mobile versions of the Microsoft 365 apps. Now, of course, if you have Plan 2, this is where it allows you to expand from 1 terabyte up to 5 terabytes. And this is included in one of the enterprise plans, whether Microsoft 365 or Office 365 E3, or Microsoft 365 or Office 365 E5. So once your renewal date comes around, you can go ahead and switch to one of these plans. However, there are some key timelines to keep in mind when it comes to making this transition. So let's go through those. Now, in June of this year, that is when the end of sale will begin for those standalone plans. Now, if you are a customer that has a renewal date before June 2026, you do have the option of actually renewing those plans for another year. So if your renewal date, let's say, is in April of this year, you have the option to renew those plans up until April 2027. However, end of life will be January 2027. So at that time, there will be no renewals or existing contracts being renewed. Those will actually be expired. So what the next step would be, if you are renewing next year, after January 2027, the plan will be to switch to one of those business or enterprise suite. Now, once these timelines have taken effect, Microsoft will actually end the entire service for SharePoint and OneDrive in December of 2029. So all standalone plans will be fully retired at this time, and all customers must transition to one of those Microsoft 365 suites. All right, so keep in mind, if you are currently utilizing any of those standalone plans, you have the option to renew before June 2026. And once it's after June 2026, you would have to go ahead and make that transition. And we'll be able to support you guys in making that transition here at Opkalla. All right, now let's go ahead and talk about another SKU availability that Microsoft had rolled out in December of last year, which is the Microsoft 365 Copilot Business SKU. Now, last year when we attended Microsoft Ignite in November, Microsoft had announced that they're making some changes to better support the SMB customers. And one of those changes will be the rollout of the Microsoft 365 Copilot Business Queue. So for everyone that may be utilizing Microsoft 365 Copilot, this was the SKU that was initially rolled out to all organizations, first for enterprise customers, and then they eventually made it available for SMB customers. The good news now for SMB customers, Microsoft has designed a SKU specifically for you. And this actually provides you with the same capabilities that you get with Microsoft 365 Copilot. So you get the same integration with AI in your Microsoft 365 apps. You get the same web grounding. You get the Microsoft Graph grounding. All of those capabilities will stay intact. Now, where the difference is the cost. So of course, there is some cost savings with purchasing the Microsoft 365 Copilot Business Queue. However, because it's a business queue, the maximum limit is 300 users. All right. Now, with that being said, with these 300 user limit, this means the prerequisites will be Business Basic, Business Standard, or Business Premium. So if you are an SMB customer and you are utilizing one of these subscriptions, what our recommendation would be is to go ahead and switch to the Microsoft 365 Copilot Business Queue on your renewal date. All right. So if, for example, you are utilizing Business Premium and you have Microsoft 365 Copilot, if your renewal date is, let's say, June of this year, then we would recommend switching to that business queue so that you can get additional savings while utilizing the same great features that you have. All right, now we will talk a bit more surrounding support for Copilot, but this is definitely one of the updates that I wanted to share with you all, just so that you can understand any changes that you can make to provide you with potential cost savings and optimization. All right, now let's move on to the updates pertaining to transitioning from AI Builder credits to Copilot credits. Now, I'm sure all of you are aware that Microsoft has been driving Copilot. I've been hearing Copilot everywhere. So one of these updates that Microsoft had made, this was actually made in October of last year, where they announced the progressive end of AI Builder credits. Now, these AI Builder credits are basically used to help you in consuming any AI Builder features within, for example, Copilot Studio. So if you are building agents so that your organization or your users can be able to ask questions and get specific responses based on resources that you would prefer them to use, then these AI Builder credits can support that. Now, keep in mind, even though the AI Builder credits are going away, this does not impact the AI Builder features. Those will still remain intact. The only difference now is that you would have to use Copilot credits. All right. Now, some of you may be utilizing AI Builder credits, some of you may not. But basically what the AI Builder credit does, it's a capacity pack. So it's basically like an add-on that you can go ahead and purchase to get 1 million AI Builder credits. Of course, these credits are consumed when you are utilizing those AI Builder features. Now, not only is there an add-on, but there are also seeded capacity within the Power Platform licenses. So if you have Power Apps Premium or Power Automate Premium, you would have already had these AI Builder credits built into those licenses. But of course, a lot of organizations are adopting more agents, and they may need additional credits outside of what they get included in those Power Apps and Power Automate license. So that's where the AI Builder capacity add-on would come in. All right. Now, with that update in mind, let's go ahead and talk about what are the different calendar dates. Now, November 1st is actually when Microsoft ended the sale of AI Builder Capacity add-on. All right. So if for example you're a new customer looking to purchase credits, you will not have the option to get the AI Builder Capacity add-on. You would have to purchase the Copilot credits. All right. Now, if you do already have the AI Builder Capacity add-on, the end of life will be November 1st, 2026. So if your renewal date is coming up, let's say, before November 1st, then the plan will be for you to go ahead and make that switch to Copilot credits. Right now, keep in mind the end of life for AI Builder Capacity add-on and the seeded credits. Those, of course, would be the same. So if you also have a Power Automate Premium or a Power Apps Premium license, then basically those credits will also go away, and you'd have to make that switch to Copilot credits. Now, I know some of you may be wondering, how exactly can I get, Copilot credits? So we'll go ahead and talk about what those two ways are. Basically, this will outline what your next step would be. So, of course, before your contract end date, it will be good to start discussing making that move with your team. All right. And of course, once you have a seeded license like Power Automate Premium or Power Apps Premium, then of course, it's time to also start discussing the next step. All right, so let's go ahead and talk about how you can actually purchase Copilot credits. Now, there are two options. You have the Copilot Studio prepaid subscription. All right, you can actually purchase this through the admin center, or you can go through Opkalla, where we'll be able to provide you with some cost savings there. But basically, this Copilot Studio prepaid subscription provides you with 25,000 Copilot credits per tenant per month. All right. So if you are looking to go the option of utilizing like a stable amount of credits per month, then the Copilot Studio prepaid subscription will be the best option for you. However, for those organizations who are not entirely sure how much they may need to consume for that specific month, the option for you will be the Copilot Studio pay-as-you-go option. And this charges just a few cents per unit of Copilot credit consumption. So if you do not have like a stable number of consumption for the month and you would like to go the route of just paying for what you use, then this is where the pay-as-you-go option would come in, and that requires you to have an Azure subscription and enabling Copilot Studio capacity, which is also done within the admin center when it comes to enabling that capacity. And when it comes to purchasing an Azure subscription, Opkalla will be able to support you with that, where we can also offer discounts to give you some cost savings there. Right? So those are some of the updates for 2026. And of course, we'll be able to answer any questions or provide any further assistance with these next steps once we go through our next few slides. So let's move into the Opkalla Microsoft CSP offerings. Dan, I'll hand over to you to kick us off.
Sure. So we wanted to start with our Premium Support Plus offering that has just been originated over the past couple months, and I'll take one step back. So typically with a CSP, we are your first line of defense from a Microsoft support standpoint. So when you submit a support ticket, that comes to our network of engineers, and I showed you the designations and the credentials that we have today, that we have the ability to support your on-prem, your 365, your Azure environments. That's all done through Opkalla. But what comes with CSP licensing is free support that actually runs 8x5 Monday through Friday. That's how CSP support works today. But through conversations with our customers, and I'll bring up two specific scenarios. The first being, what do we do if something happens on a weekend, on a holiday, in the middle of the night, where we're put in a situation where we need to have our users back up and running on Monday morning? Okay, so that's where 24/7 actually originated. How can we provide that service to our customers? The second situation was enterprise agreement customers that actually have unified support contract with Microsoft. That is another standalone contract that is typically tailored towards the larger customers, but it is purchased on a 1 to 3 year term and is typically very, very expensive. So customers started to look at that investment and weren't really seeing the value that they were getting out of unified support. So what we did here at Opkalla is put together the resources and offering to provide our customers with 24/7 support for critical business impacting incidents. So didn't change the SLAs except for the fact we are still 1 business day for normal support incidents, but also a 2 hour SLA for urgent requests. What also comes with Premium Support Plus, we're going to actually have regular check-ins with our support team to look at your support ticket history, make sure we're responding and bringing that to resolution as quickly as possible, and actually get feedback from you guys on how we could be doing better. Also, we'll be doing quarterly briefings with your technology advisor and either someone from our Microsoft team, whether it be myself, Rachel, or any of our other licensing specialists, where we can review your Microsoft investment, kind of stay in front of these changes that we've been covering today, and just kind of have a quarterly business review of where you are today with Microsoft, where you want to be, what's happening, what you may want to adopt or deploy moving forward, and just cover the entire Microsoft environment with you on a quarterly basis. We also offer end user and IT admin training with this Premium Support Plus. And this offering is available to really any organization. It doesn't really matter your Microsoft agreement type. You could be on a CSP today, you could be on an enterprise agreement or an MPSA, Microsoft Product and Services Agreement. This is a standalone contract that can be bolted to your current license agreement for that 24/7 coverage. So also, as I said, the one scenario where we're running into customers that are on expensive Microsoft unified support contracts, we're going to lower that overall cost. We've done it for a number of customers already. You're going to pay less and you're going to get better support. Actually, more comprehensive training options. So in addition to the end user and IT admin training that comes on the left over there, we can also go into hands-on workshops and some other training options we can include. It is very flexible on what we can include in this contract. And then also, depending on the level of Premium Support Plus, you can have a dedicated technical account manager that you work with directly. So a single point of contact for all of your support needs. So if there's any interest in our Premium Support Plus, I can take you through how the pricing works and go into it with more detail, answer any questions. Just like I said, we'll give you information on how to reach out. Be glad to set up a call and review it with you.
Awesome. Thank you, Dan. All
Mhm.
right. So I will go through with you all some additional CSV offerings that we have, and these are specifically our marketplace offerings. This is where we basically promote specialized services that we know customers are looking for. And one of those is our 90 minutes tailored Copilot workshop. All right, so there are a lot of organizations right now looking to adopt Copilot features within their organization. So if you are one of those organizations, then this workshop is designed specifically for you, and it is absolutely free of cost. So depending on where you are in that journey, whether you're looking to make a business decision. So of course, before organizations roll out Copilot to their users, they usually start with, for example, the IT team or the C-suite team, just to see if there are any specific ROI to ensure that whatever you are investing in, you guys are getting the value from that. So if you are within that stage of the journey where you're looking to make that business decision, then of course this workshop, we can design that for you. Or let's say you have already made that decision. You guys have had a lot of users asking about Copilot, wanting to start using it, but you want to ensure that they are actually using those features effectively to enhance their productivity, then the workshop is also specifically designed for that. So wherever you are in the stage of your adoption journey, we're able to personalize the workshop to meet your specific needs, and we can help you with a tailored next step that will be able to ensure that you are getting the full value for what you're paying for. All right. Now, just to provide some insights as it relates to what the workshop includes, first, we will provide you with some introductory guidance on what is Microsoft 365 Copilot and the features and benefits. So for anyone that's not aware of what Copilot is, or you are aware but you're not fully clear on what the benefits and features are, we will definitely start out with giving you that introductory guidance to ensure that you are more familiarized with what it is and what it does. Now, of course, there are so many AI tools out there. And of course, when it comes to Microsoft, you do have the option of utilizing the free Microsoft 365 Copilot chat, or you can purchase the paid Microsoft 365 Copilot or Copilot Business, which we had spoke about earlier. Now, if, for example, you really want to understand why should I move from the free version to the paid version, then we can cover what the comparison is and, of course, where exactly they differ. Right now, not only can we give you comparison about the Microsoft AI tools, but other AI tools. So there are a lot of organizations as well that are utilizing ChatGPT, Gemini. There's so many AI tools out there. ChatGPT being one of the most common one that I've seen a lot of organizations speak about. So if you want to understand what exactly is the difference between ChatGPT and Microsoft 365 Copilot, and why exactly you should move to Microsoft 365 Copilot, then we can also cover those differences, and of course just share with you which one will actually best suit you based on your business needs. Right now, when it comes to Copilot, the best way to actually show you the value is by sharing some live demos. So we will actually be going through demos of Copilot at work in the different Microsoft 365 apps. And these are the apps that most, if not every organization, used every day. So Teams, when it comes to meetings and chats, you have Outlook, where you would send and receive emails. You have Microsoft Word, where you would use to create documents, blogs. You have Excel, where you use to create spreadsheets. You can use it to analyze data. And then, of course, you have PowerPoint, which you can use to create presentation decks and share them with audience. So these are the apps that a lot of organizations are using daily. And we want to actually have you see in action how you can utilize Copilot to enhance your productivity and just overall streamline the daily tasks that you have every day to cut down, let's say, the time when it comes to taking recaps from a manual notes from a meeting. You can cut down that time from 30 minutes to a minute. Or sending an email, it may take you around 5 to 10 minutes to have that email sent out. You can send it out in seconds using Copilot. So we'll be able to show you that live in action so that you can truly see the value of what Copilot will bring to your organization. All right, now to wrap us up, one of the major points when it comes to adopting Copilot is the security and compliance control. Every organization wants to know, how can I protect my data when it comes to using Copilot? Because it's a very powerful tool and it can access information from different sources using Microsoft Graph. That is basically where all your Microsoft data is stored, where all of your emails are stored, all of your files, your meetings. So basically, Microsoft offers different security and compliance tools to protect your data from going in the hands of a user who should not have access to that. So you have Defender for Office 365 and Defender for Endpoint. You have Purview from a compliance standpoint. You have Microsoft Intune when it comes to managing devices. There are so many tools that Microsoft offers from a security and compliance standpoint. And we want to ensure that you understand what those features are, because rolling out Copilot is, of course, a great next step, but ensuring that the security and compliance features are in place, that's actually a big part of that adoption. Right? So if you are interested in our tailored Copilot workshop, we will actually provide you with some next steps once we go through this presentation, so that you can go ahead and sign up, and then we will reach out to get started with your personalized workshop. All right, now we'll move into another offering that we have, which is called MPAS. And that stands for Microsoft Product Adoption Support. All right, now this offering actually helps you to maximize on your Microsoft investment. And this is not just from a Microsoft 365 standpoint, but also from an Azure standpoint. So there are a lot of organizations right now that are utilizing both Microsoft 365 and Azure. You are investing, you're paying for services and resources, and you want to know, am I fully utilizing what I'm paying for? So this MPAS offering helps you to drive more adoption. So from a Microsoft 365 standpoint, helps you to understand where exactly are your users not fully utilizing Teams or Outlook or PowerPoint, and then what you can do to increase that adoption and help your users to start using them more frequently. And then, of course, how you can increase your security posture. So if you're utilizing any of the security features like Enter ID, are you guys creating conditional access policies and fully utilizing that? Or are you utilizing Intune and Defender? So all of this capability is wrapped up in our MPAS offering, and even from an Azure standpoint as well. So if you are interested in our MPAS offering, the good news is that it's available to new and existing Opkalla customers. So if you are looking to do business with us, this offering will be available to you. And if you are already doing business with us, then you may already be familiar with our MPAS offering. All right, now this offering is actually on a biannually basis. So if you are a new customer, once we onboard you for the first time, once you're fully onboarded, then our technical account manager will reach out with an introductory email to kickstart your MPAS review. All right, now if you are an existing customer, the MPAS will be completed after your annual renewal. So once your annual renewal has been completed, you will also receive another email from our technical account manager to kickstart that MPAS review. Now, not only do we offer these reviews, but we check in, we follow up, just to ensure that you are staying on top of any recommendations, and of course, securing and adopting these features as best as possible. So we do a 6-month follow-up after a completion is done. So once you're onboarded, we follow up within 6 months. Once your renewal is processed and we do that MPAS review, we follow up again within the next 6 months, just to keep you on track and help you to stay up to date with your environment and any changes that you guys can make. Right? So with all of that being said, with MPAS, you receive 2 main benefits. All right, you get tailored recommendations, and these recommendations help you to better manage your Microsoft 365 environment. And this is by using security baselines from Microsoft 365 Lighthouse. All right, now Microsoft 365 Lighthouse is a tool that Microsoft has designed for CSPs and also for MSPs. But as a CSP, we are offering you this service as a value add. So we will be able to go through those recommendations with you to improve your Microsoft environment. And then we can also offer best practices to help you to improve the cost effectiveness, the performance, the reliability, and the security of your Azure resources. And this is by using Azure Advisor. Some of you may be familiar with Azure Advisor. This is actually available to all Azure customers, but not everyone knows about it and how to use it. So this is where we come in to guide you through those recommendations, just to ensure that you're fully maximizing on your investment from an Azure standpoint. right? So this is our MPAS offering, and we'll be able to share some next steps as we go through this presentation. All right, now our final offering is our license advisory and analysis offer. All right, now of course, it has to do with your license and just overall giving you guys advice and providing that overall analysis of how you can actually optimize your environment. So our goal as your CSP is to help you to have an optimized environment. And how we do that is by ensuring that you have the right plan that suits your needs. Because of course, if you're a SMB customer, why would you pay for an enterprise license? So this is where we help you to ensure you have the right plan that matches your needs. All right, and then of course we can provide you recommendations and where you can save where applicable. All right, now this offering is available free of cost to all customers. All right, so if you are looking to work with Opkalla, we can offer this service free of cost. And if you are an existing Microsoft customer of Opkalla, then of course we offer this every time you're doing a renewal. All right. Now, our team of licensing experts, we have helped many customers. And of course, I can speak towards this because I've had so many conversations with customers that are paying for like paid licenses. So for example, they're paying for like the Microsoft 365 audio conferencing, which is a legacy license. Microsoft now offers that for free. So recommendations like that, or helping you to consolidate some of your subscriptions. So for example, if you have a Office 365 E3 and you have added on Enterprise Mobility plus Security E3, we would recommend combining that and switching to Microsoft 365 E3. So these are just some examples of the type of recommendations we provide, and it has saved a lot of customers thousands of dollars annually. All right. So one thing I would like to leave you guys with today is that we are not just your Microsoft CSP. We are also your trusted advisor. All right. And how we can help you when it comes to this license advisory and analysis offer is one, we would go ahead and analyze your current Microsoft 365 licenses. Now, based on that analysis, it will allow us to identify any potential changes as well as any cost savings. All right, now once we do that analysis, we move on to step two, which is to prepare those recommendations to help you to optimize your licensing. Now, once those recommendations are prepared, we will schedule a meeting with you to review them together. All right, now to provide you with a more of a visual of what those changes would look like and what those cost savings would be like, we will put together a like for like and an optimized quote. So that like for like quote will have exactly what you have right now. And then that optimized quote will actually have what our recommendations would be. And you will definitely see some cost savings there as well on that optimized quote. So once you have reviewed that with your team and you have decided you would like to move forward with that optimized quote, we will send it to you to review and sign. Now, after it's signed, this is where the main work goes in play. And that is actually making the changes for you on your renewal date. All right, so in order for us to make those changes, there are different access that we would require from you as your CSP. So once we have our access set up within your environment, then we will be able to make those changes for you, whether it may be reassigning your users from, let's say, Microsoft 365 Copilot to Copilot for Business. We will make that change for you, and then we will confirm completion. Right? So this is another offering that we provide to our customers. And as you can see, all these offerings that we have presented to you will bring some value to your organization. So if you are interested in learning more about these offerings and working with Opkalla, then of course we'll be able to share with you next steps on how to do so. But before we dive into that, I wanted to leave some room for any questions. So I'll go ahead and have our moderator let us know if there's any questions for us in the chat.
Rachel, I'll jump in. I have one here from Dimitro. He's asking the question, can Microsoft SQL 2022 on an Azure VM be covered with a SQL 2025 license? The answer is yes. Microsoft Server licenses are backwards compatible, so if you were to buy a 2025 license, you could deploy 2022. Second part of that question, what options exist to receive extended support for SQL 2022, specifically in Azure? So what we're looking at is the mainstream support for SQL is coming up in January of 2028. So we have some time before we need to go down the path of extended support. But how it will be sold, you basically can buy an extended support SKU that is going to be sold for 1 year, depending on how many you need. Typically, it's up to 3 to 5 years you can buy extended support, but that will be a SKU you can purchase to get extended support for SQL 2022. So as we get closer to that date, Dimitro, any questions, let us know.
Right. Awesome. Thanks for providing that answer there, Dan. Let's
You got it.
take a look at the chat to see, because I do see some answers already going out. But just to address one specific one pertaining to Copilot integrations in CRM tool. When Copilot was rolled out, Microsoft had provided Copilot, for example, for sales, which you can utilize for your Dynamics 365 sales environment or utilize in Salesforce. However, Microsoft has actually integrated those capabilities into Microsoft 365 Copilot. So if you are an organization utilizing some of those role-based capabilities, like from, for example, your sales team, if they may need to utilize agents to help them in gathering data from Salesforce or Dynamics 365 sales, then that is now available in Microsoft 365 Copilot. You also have other role-based capabilities like for finance. So if you are looking to create agents for your finance team, your accounting team, there are agents available in Microsoft 365 Copilot. Same as well for customer service. So all of these features are available within that one license, and you have the option to create agents as you see fit to meet your specific rule-based requirements. All right. Let's see what other questions we have here. All right, so how does Copilot mitigate environmental impact in comparison to OpenAI's very good ChatGPT? So of course, as we spoke about earlier, surrounding security, how Microsoft really helps to mitigate that impact is ensuring that organizations have the right tools when it comes to protecting their data. So of course, it's on that specific organization to implement those tools. So whether it may be creating a specific policy surrounding access for their users. So if a user may need to gain access to a specific application, ensuring that those policies are in place. If, for example, a user may need to only have access to a certain file within SharePoint, ensuring that their access is set up that way to only access that specific file. So of course, you can't have someone, from a sales team, accessing HR information. So just ensuring that the right access in place and policies are created based on those security features that Microsoft has available. So let's see, do we have any, not seen any further questions here in the chat? Right. So I guess we can go ahead and move forward then with our next steps. And of course, let's see here, just see any message pop up. Okay. All right, no problem. So I think we have responded to all questions in the chat. So we'll go ahead then and just talk about what some next steps are, because there are going to be more questions. When it comes to Microsoft, it's always a never-ending process because things change, things are complicated, and it's good to have someone who can guide you throughout these complicated processes, or just overall any changes that may impact you. So we will actually send a follow-up email after today's webinar with all of the details based on what was presented today. And of course, we'll also provide you guys with the links for our marketplace offerings. So if you are interested in taking advantage of our 90-minute tailored workshop, or Microsoft product adoption support review, or a license advisor and analysis offer, we have these available within the Microsoft marketplace. So you can go ahead and sign up there. And of course, we'll be able to reach out and get started in in kickstarting those specific reviews. Now, if you are, however, interested in Premium Support Plus, you can start a conversation with us by reaching out to Microsoft@opkalla.com. All right. So if you are a unified support customer and you want to discuss the transition to Premium Support Plus, or let's say you're currently utilizing just one of the standard Microsoft support options and you want more elevated support, then we can have that conversation with you. Just reach out to us via this email. Now, when it comes to specific support needs or licensing questions, then we also have our support email, which is support@opkalla.com. This will actually get you in touch with our licensing experts as well as our technical engineers. So if you have an issue where you want some guidance on how to troubleshoot or resolve it, once you're an existing customer, we can support you. If you are not yet an existing customer, then we can discuss next steps to get onboarded, and then we'll be happy to provide you guys with any support. All right, and that will actually conclude our webinar for today. So just wanted to highlight or contact information for Dan and I. If you want to reach us directly, you can reach Dan at dan.houston@opkalla.com, or if you'd like to reach me, you can send me an email at rachel.berry@opkalla.com. But of course, I would implore you to reach out to our distro email where you get in touch with our entire team who handle those specific requests. Right, and thank you all so much for joining. Any final words from the team, Dan? Any final words?
No, thank everyone for joining. Appreciate it. Hope everyone has a great weekend.
Hey, awesome. It's a Friday, so you guys will have 10 minutes back in your day. So have a great one, guys, and have an awesome weekend. Thank you all again for being here.